Well, hello everybody, and welcome to, I think this is probably number 3 Malibu Sea webinar that we've had with the fabulous Missy Peterson, the global educator from Malibu Sea,
Thank you.
trichologist, hair expert, scalp expert, skin expert, and we're very grateful for you to give up your time, Missy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I was super excited to know that we were going to be getting together because every time we get together, it's always a good time and so much information because, you're just as nerdy as I am when it comes to all of this stuff. So I love it. I love it. Thanks for having me.
So for everybody that is joining us live, if you have any questions, you can just absolutely pop it in the chat while Missy's doing her presentation. I'll be able to monitor that for you. We will go through pretty much everything Malibu Sea, I guess, as a
Mhm.
recap. HEADLAB, what's coming, which I just had a little sneak preview at, so I can't wait for that to get into my hands. For those of you who are watching the recording, you can absolutely reach out to your Dateline rep, your distributor rep, or myself directly, no problems in the world. So we'll endeavor to answer any of your questions. If I don't know the answer, of course, I'll flick it over to the one and only Missy, so she'll know it. She knows all the answers.
No, I try. And I'm so blessed and so lucky that if there is a question that, we haven't come across, because there's always great questions, the more you use things, the more questions come up. And so with Malibu, we give all of the stylists direct access to our chemists. So we are literally able to take these questions to the people who are making the product and say, okay, help us understand it, or can we use this better? And that's just not something that you get from a lot of brands. So super, super lucky to have that, at our disposal.
Absolutely. And I think it's why the brand is so successful and it continues to
Mhm.
grow, especially in our market for Australia and New Zealand. Anytime anybody ever comes to me with any sort of a problem or a question, I'm like, what have you got in your drawer? Go tell me what packets you've got in your drawer and we can make
Yep.
it with that. So,
Yes, we just had a question come through the other day on the forum, and they said this is a random question, but can you clean blah blah blah? And I was like, actually, it's not random. And yes, I clean my dishwasher, my washing machine, and my Keurig with crystal gel. So we get all kinds of questions because you guys, seriously, it's the same mineral. It's building up in there. That's building up in your hair, skin, and scalp. So yeah, multi-versatile tools at our disposal.
I agree. I do all sorts of random things with it just to see if it's going to work. And it never lets me down, never lets me
See? See?
down. But once again, thank you so much. I'll hand over to you. Again, if there is any questions, just raise your hand, pop it in the chat, and we'll be able to take care of it.
Okay, let me share my screen and
Oh, look at us go. We're very technologically advanced.
I mean, look at that, knock on wood.
Yeah. All right.
Because, you know, normally doesn't work that well for me, but here we are. So everybody, we've got 50 participants on here. You guys, that's amazing. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for joining us.
we have a lot that are unable to join live. I think we've got
And
close
they'll
to
watch.
nearly 400 registered attendees, that there are a lot working and a lot with on different time zones. So the recording will obviously go out to them, which is fantastic.
Yes, this is huge. I mean, I love it when I have people who are excited, and even if you've already seen this presentation or you've already sat through a Malibu C class, you are always going to learn something new. Especially with me, because chances are I'm going to say something different, even though it's the same technology that I've been teaching on for 14 years, I think now. So, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, well, here we go. We are going to dive into discovering HeadLab and really revealing what is real. But understanding that everything Malibu Seed does is done, it's very deliberate. Our whole goal is to solve problems for people globally. So we don't make products just to make products. We make products when there's a problem that needs a solution. And we do it in a way that it's wellness oriented. We are eco-friendly. We actually just won awards for that. So our bottles, you definitely want to read up on it, you guys, because Malibu is really, really stepping forward to make sure that you have the tools that you need. They're going to be healthy for you to use, and they're going to give you the results that you need every single time. So as we go through this, just understand that anything new coming from Malibu Sea is based on the vitamin C technology, and it all circles back around. So we're going to go over total oxidation management so you understand, where it came from and why it works. Because for me as a stylist too, there's nothing more frustrating than buying a product that you read all of this marketing on and you think it's going to do all these fabulous things, and then you use it and you're disappointed. So it was very important to me to find products that I know are going to give me results every single time. And the other thing that was important, and I mean, Tanya, we talked about this. I know it's important to you too. I want to be able to use a brand that plays nice with everybody, because I have other tools from other brands that I absolutely love. So you guys don't think of Malibu Sea as something that you have to replace something with. Think of it as a tool that's going to enhance everything else that you use, because nobody else has the vitamin C technology. So we're going to go through the thing. For those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of talking to in person or online, I'm Missy Peterson. I'm the Senior Global Educator for Malibu Sea. I am also a certified clinical trichologist and an American Board Certified hair colorist. So I'm a nerd. I want to understand the products, the problems, the ingredients. I want to understand all of those things. So as I teach a class and I'm talking with you, I'm coming from the perspective of a professional. I'm behind the chair using these things just like you guys. And HEADLAB just made a huge switch for me in the salon. So if there are some of you watching that are at the point in your career that you're trying to figure out, what's next? I've already been behind the chair for so many years. My body's not feeling the same way. HEADLAB is going to open a door for you, and which it did for me, that I hadn't even planned on. So this is one of my favorite topics to talk about. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about total oxidation management and what the problem is. And you guys, the problem starts with the water. So when you're in the shower, your hair is continuously exposed to minerals found in the water at home. When you're using hot or warm water, it swells the cuticle even more than cool water, allowing all of these minerals to get inside. Now, when I was just there with you a couple months ago in August, I've been teaching Malibu Sea, like I said, for 14 years. And gosh, Tanya, you and I have worked together for years. I did not have a full understanding of what you experience with your water over there until I was there. Until I was there. And you guys, I got in the shower and it felt different. My hair felt different. My products felt different. So, I mean, obviously, I travel with Malibu Sea, so I was able to make all of that work. But the water situation is real. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the water. It's just understanding some of the challenges that it could create for you in the salon. And your water is much softer than what I experience here in the US. So understanding the full gamut, that no one is exempt from the effects of water.
And it's
There's going to be minerals.
Oh, sorry, Missy. It's very
No,
interesting.
go ahead.
Like yourself, I travel quite a lot. I'm in Cairns at the moment, and I washed my hair this morning, and I had to put all types of products in there just to control the frizz. Brisbane last week was a whole nother story, and Sydney the week before, as you know, has extremely soft water, I think you called it, with the fluff and the frizz. So yeah, my products change now regularly based on what I learned from you, even as little as 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I have 4 different travel bags, depending on where I'm going. And it never occurred to me when I started traveling that, that was going to be something I would experience. And I didn't even get it at first until I was like, okay, wait a minute. These products are all the same. The formula hasn't changed. I'm not using them any differently. The only thing that's changed is the water. So when your clients, when your guests are traveling, make sure that you know that. And I especially after we have spring break here and fall break here, and people travel to beaches, right? Well, I'm in the middle of the United States. So when they come back, the first thing that I recommend is that we do a crystal gel treatment, because they've been in water that is different than what they experience at home. So look at that as far as, new service potential. bring that up, let them know and ask the questions. Did your skin feel different? Did your hair feel different? Did your products work different? Chances are they're going to say yes, and they wouldn't have volunteered that information to you if you hadn't asked. So helping your guests understand no one is exempt from what happens. So with Malibu Sea, our whole point was to help professionals control the processes in the salon and have confidence in the work. You know as well as I do, everyone that's been behind the chair, we have had those days where things have drastically gone wrong. And we blame all sorts of things. And that sits with us for a very long time. Like, it's not just you have a bad day, you are thinking about that client and that process for days, weeks. And it doesn't matter how long you've been behind the chair, those days happen, but you can control them. You can make sure that you're not going to have a lot of days like that strictly by prepping the hair and using Malibu Sea first. So something to understand about Malibu Sea. When we create the products, you know that everything comes in a packet. The reason these things come in a packet is because vitamin C, ascorbic acid, and you guys pay attention to that. When you're buying products, whether it's skincare or hair care, that says it has vitamin C in it, look at the ingredient deck. The true form of vitamin C is ascorbic acid. The thing with ascorbic acid, though, is it's not stable in a liquid form. So it's only at full potency for about 2 weeks. So if at Malibu Sea, if we were to activate this vitamin C and then get it in the formula and get it all the way to you across the world, by the time it got to you, that vitamin C would no longer be an antioxidant. It would literally just be sugar, because that's what happens to vitamin C as it lives its life. So Malibu Sea gives you the raw ingredients. We give you the dry vitamin C. So you activate it and you know that it's going to be the most potent when you activate it. You don't ever have to question, is this good? Is it going to work? And we experience that with a lot of different things, with color, with perms, so many different services with chemicals. We know that if oxygen gets in there, we're done, right?
Yeah.
We can't use that color. So Malibu alleviates that for you. So that's why we come in packets. Now, you'll notice if you are part of the education forum with Malibu Sea, or if you've looked at us on TikTok, YouTube, anywhere, when people say, I did such and such a service, or I used Malibu Sea, we're going to ask you which packet. We're going to ask you what color, because chances are you're not going to know the name of which one, because you probably have them all. And if you don't, Dateline can help you with that. Get all of them in there. And the thing is, though, when you tell us the color, we can tell you specifically, what you're going to do, how you're going to use it. And each packet can be used, a couple different ways. But the one thing that stays the same, no matter which packet you're using, the vitamin C. The vitamin C is present in all of the packets that are dry, except for DDL XL. And that's part of our corrective color service. So understanding that we are using that vitamin C, the antioxidants, to, first of all, to stop oxidation. Now, when we talk about oxidation, what does that even mean? Well, to a colorist, it means that something has oxidized. We think color when we start talking about oxidation. But oxidation happens from water, from light, from heat, from the sun. Oxidation happens every day. Well, minerals that are in the water, once oxygen is introduced, they oxidize, and they do that inside the hair shaft, which is going to cause problems for us in the salon. And it's not just our hair, it's also our skin. So in the US, 85% of the households have what we call hard water. Hard water simply means that there's calcium and magnesium, but there's also other minerals involved too. Now, I've been able to travel the world with Malibu Sea, and something that's been really interesting to me is this statistic holds true across the globe. Everyone's going to have an effect from their water. So when I have a new client that comes in, and I know that you all do that too, you have the consultation, you ask questions about, their regimen and their products, their medications, but something you've probably never asked is about their water. And the thing is, if you understand the type of water that they're using at home, you can better service them in the salon. And having that conversation with a client, that's not something that most clients have ever talked about to their stylist. You know, I mean, think about it. And before Malibu, had anybody ever asked you, tell me about your water? I actually have my clients bring their water to me. I have them bring me a sample and I test it right in front of them. The reason I do that is because that allows me to understand what their water is at home, which in turn helps me determine how long to process the vitamin C technology. So you guys, everything that we're talking about is on our website. It's in our Metaversity. You can go and get certified for free. So make sure you go and get that. And it talks about the water testing, so you can help your client understand, what's going on, what's changing.
So for those people who want to know how to test the water and what you do, we have water test strips from Malibu
Mhm.
that you can order from us. We have them there for you to be able to do, and that's super easy and super quick.
It
Um,
is.
which is super important. So there's not only just I guess the water in the salon that's being used, it's what they're using at home, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're only in the salon every 4 or 5, 6 weeks, but they're in their water at home daily.
Mm.
So understanding what's going on at home to me is more important than understanding what's in the salon. That being said, the test strips that Tanya's talking about, you guys, that is what I use to test the water. And when I test the water, there is a sheet that's available online, and it's called the Hard Water Analysis Grid. You can print this off, put it in your dispensary, and you can take the results and read them right there. This grid actually tells you if your water is on the harder side, these are some of the issues you could be experiencing. If your water is on the softer side, then you're dealing with frizz. You're dealing with things that are on opposite ends of the spectrum. But this is a cheat sheet for stylists to be able to say, okay, I have a client who has curly hair. We cannot get her frizz under control, and we use the best products out there. But you guys, that frizz is probably happening because of the water, not because of the texture of her hair or the products that she's using. So it all comes down to, I use the phrase a lot, you need to see the hair naked. You need to see it without anything. I'm surprised I haven't gotten talked to about for that one. But I mean, think about it. When you're looking at hair that hasn't been thoroughly cleansed and detoxed, it's like looking at a picture through a filter. You have no idea what you're actually working with because you're seeing all of the elements. So something that was beneficial for me, I'm a see it to believe it kind of girl, and I needed to understand the science behind all of this. So when I'm talking to clients, I test their water and then I talk to them about different areas of their house. I ask them, do you get a film on your shower door? Do you get spots on your dishes as they come out of the dishwasher or on your sink? And most of the time, where I am, the answer is yes. And helping them understand that that is the exact same mineral that's building up on your sink, on your dishes, on your shower door, that's attaching to your hair, skin, and scalp. So for me as a stylist, Malibu C has been using the same technology for over 40 years because it works every single time. And there's not any fluff in the formula. It truly does what it says it's going to do. So when you're talking about minerals, this is how it helped me understand them. When you were younger and you were in science class and you were playing with magnets. So, a magnet has a positive charge on one side and a negative charge on the other. Well, hair has a negative charge. Minerals have a positive charge. So think about it. When you had those two magnets, say you had a negative side here and a negative side here, and you tried to push them together, they didn't connect, right? They repelled. But if you flip this over, now you've got a negative and a positive. Now what happens? They connect. That's what's happening, you guys. So using a spray, a leave-in spray, and which I can't wrap my head around, because if you're using a leave-in spray, it stays in the hair. You're laughing because you've thought that way too. So for me, I want to know if I'm removing something, I'm literally removing it. So what happens with our vitamin C technology? is it has EDTA in it. What it does is it goes in and it detaches the positive from the negative, and then we remove it. So we don't encapsulate it, we don't neutralize it, we literally remove it. And now you're going to be able to see the hair naked without anything on top. You guys, you will be surprised if you pick a client, especially if you're dealing with blondes. If you have someone who has blonde hair that you just cannot get to a nice, clean, lifted blonde, make her your model and do a crystal gel treatment on her before her color service. You will be astounded at the results, the lift, the speed, and just how clean the hair actually is. And I recommend it for all colors, not just the blondes, but blondes have the most visible results in most instances. So blondes are an easy one to pull in.
I just know that if I don't cleanse mine out at least 4 times a year, it takes so long and I'm predominantly, I'd be a good 80% gray at the front half of my head, and it still takes a long time to lift if I don't take the time to cleanse it out first. Whereas when I do take the time, and for me, it's only 20 minutes because I do it on a regular basis,
Yep.
my lift will process at least 15 minutes faster and clean.
Yes, clean, and the integrity of the hair, you guys. And that's what's important too. If you can have a nice, clean lift and the integrity still intact, whatever tone you decide to put on afterwards is going to be even. And the porosity is going to be nice and equalized before you even put that tone on it, your glaze on it. So Malibu C works in so many different ways. It's a prep before all chemical services, but it's also for people who don't have chemical services because they still use water. Your haircuts. A lot of times when people are talking, if you have a client who has really, really fine hair, and we had gotten this question a lot when it comes to your tools. When you're dealing with someone who has really fine hair, when you're cutting and you're trying to texturize and move the hair around with really fine textured hair, sometimes you can see every single one of those cut lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not because of the hair, you guys. It's because minerals are magnets. And so they are connecting to each other. So as you're cutting that hair, they're all clumping. So you're not able to see the texture that you want. That's also what dulls your shears and your clippers. You are literally cutting on rock. So prep everybody. The easiest way to ask and to understand if they need a Malibu treatment is simply this. Ask them if they use water. It's that simple. If they use water, they need a Malibu. So there's no long list trying to figure it out. So with total oxidation management, what we're doing, it's a lifestyle approach. We are really making people aware of what's happening, and that oxidation happens in nature. So it's unavoidable, but we can manage it. And we can make sure that your hair, skin, and scalp is in the prime condition for whatever it is you're trying to do next, whether it's color, whether it's cut, whether it's a permanent wave, whether it's hair loss. So helping people understand that before we can address whatever issue they're having, we have to have a clean canvas. We have to manage the damage from oxidation. That's what Malibu C does. So here you see the HEADLAB Crystal Gel XL packet. Now the packet is white. The original packet of Crystal Gel is also white. Those are the foundation. That is the original vitamin C technology that everything else grew from. The key to remember with the white packets is those are in salon only. These are your professional services that they need to come in and have you as the stylist actually do it for them to get the best results. So always keep that in mind. If it's the white packets, it stays in the salon. The other ones can be retailed for maintenance, and we'll touch on that too. So why did we go in a different direction with Crystal Gel XL? The reason is because you guys all know in the market right now, head spas are huge. They're huge. Scalp care is everywhere. Every line is talking about it and doing it. And looking at what head spa actually is, it's not new. It's been around for hundreds of years, you guys. It came from Japan and from Korea. So understanding that head spa, as we're talking about Malibu C and HEADLAB, head spa is the category. HEADLAB is the technique and service you're going to use in the salon. While we're doing this and we're talking about spa wellness, head spa wellness, use those words. Use wellness when you're talking about Malibu Sea to anyone and everyone, and help them understand that you, as a stylist, as a salon owner, as an assistant, you have chosen to use a product that is wellness oriented. When I'm talking to my clients, I'm coming from a different perspective. So the first 20 some years of my career, I focused on corrective color. And that was my jam. That's where I lived. That's what I loved. Getting into trichology, which is studying the diseases and disorders of the scalp, that really shifted me in the salon. So I was able to actually open an entire salon just based on head spa and HEADLAB. So for those of you who are looking for new things to have in the salon that's not as taxing on your body, this is it. This is it. So you're increasing the money that you're making, you're decreasing the stress on your body, and you've just opened up a whole new door to maybe something that you haven't talked about before, right?
I think that's really important. I've just seen so many, veterans of the industry that their bodies, like you said, are
Yeah.
slowly deteriorating, but they love the industry and don't want to find something else to do. And I just think this is a perfect way to stay connected, but opening up
Mhm.
like you literally have done yourself, like a
Yeah.
whole business based on this.
Yep. So when I did this, when I was working with Malibu Sea to develop HeadLab and Head Spa, that's when it occurred to me that this can be an entire business by itself. So I actually work out of two salons. I only do scalp services now. I don't color anymore. But using the HeadLab system, I do all the consultations for corrective color services. I do all the consultations for extension services. And then I became the resource for all of the other stylists in the one salon to deal with any type of hair loss or slow hair growth. And you guys, it's really important for you to understand that Malibu Sea does not have a product that has an active ingredient that grows hair. That's not our job. Our job is to make the scalp as healthy as it possibly can be. So if those follicles are still active, the hair has a chance to grow. So helping people understand, bringing in HeadLab and doing head spa treatments, it's a lot of different things. We're using different scalp massages. And of course, a scalp massage feels great, but the whole point is to get circulation to the scalp, right? The more
Yep.
circulation we have, the more nutrients are getting to the follicles, which feed the hair. So it's feeling good. You use aromatherapy, it's smelling good, and you're accomplishing the science that you're looking for to be able to help them.
Oh,
So go ahead, Tony, go ahead.
sorry, just before you go on, I've just got a question on here. What happens if somebody has filtered water? Which I think is a very important question to answer, and I know that you have the answer for this.
Yes, we've studied that extensively actually. So water filters, whether it be a whole house filter or just a filter on the shower heads themselves, they are great. They do help, but they do not eliminate 100% of the minerals coming out. That being said, when Malibu Sea was testing a bunch of different brands, there's not a single one that we will endorse that says you wouldn't need to use Malibu C2. So I do recommend to my guests that they get a water filter, a shower filter. And even if they have, they have softer. Now notice when I talk about that, I don't say soft, it's softer because it still has minerals. It just has less. So that is a great question. They are great, but they do not alleviate the need to use Malibu Sea. Crystal gel is going to remove all the minerals to medication. The filters are just going to decrease the amount that actually comes in contact with the hair and skin. The easiest way to explain that to a client is even if they have a shower filter, ask them if they still need to clean their shower because there's still going to be mineral on the door. I mean, that was actually how I discovered how effective and ineffective some of them were because looking at how much water is depositing, how much minerals depositing, if it shows on the shower door, it's on the scalp. It's
It
on the
would be
scalp.
nice if something took away the need to actually clean the shower. It's probably the one job I hate, but the one job I need to do all the time because we have tons of
Yeah.
calcium and copper in our water. So
Yeah, so it gets a weird film, and it's not great to get off. And I mean, I use a lot of analogies with my guests, because I feel like if they can see in their mind's eye an example, then they're going to understand that I'm not just trying to get you to use a product. I'm not just trying to sell you a service. I'm really solving a problem for you. But going into HeadLab, like, now I'm able to solve a problem and relax you at the same time. So, it's a win-win, whole win-win. So when you're developing this, when you are talking about Head Spa and HeadLab, you're going to focus on scalp health first. So here's some terms that I use in my when I market, and Malibu C uses too when we educate. Scalp centric, which means it was designed specifically for the scalp. And our new products coming out that I know you'll be getting soon, they are scalp centric. They were designed specifically for that. Another phrase that we use, I use the words complex compounds a lot, because when you're looking at the different things on the hair, there is no way to look and say, okay, this piece here is calcium, this piece here is copper, this piece here. It's a combination of all of these things. So really talking to your guest about, the whole point is that there's buildup. There's buildup on your hair, skin, and scalp. It shouldn't be there. And we're going to take it off. And then we're going to show you that we took it off too. Because, it really is revealing what is real. So with HeadLab and getting into the service part, that's where the reveal comes in. Because you can do massages and people feel great. And you can say that their scalp is clean. But I really want you to think about the clients and the guests that you have in your chair. When you have suggested in the past, and it might even have been a crystal gel treatment, you might have said, I really think you need to have a crystal gel treatment. We need to do a Malibu treatment. And maybe your client has said, you know what? I don't think I need that. I don't have time for that. Now we're giving you a tool that you're going to be able to show them their scalp. And when you are able to physically see that there's an issue and that we removed it, that changes the game for you guys. So talk about that. We're going to show you what the problem is. We're going to remove it with wellness products. And then we're going to show you the reveal. We're going to reveal to you that we actually did remove the complex compounds. Make sense, I hope?
absolutely.
Okay. So when you're going through and you're talking about this, don't overcomplicate it. This is really going to be just showing them what's going on, talking about what you're going to do next, and then showing them that it's gone. But go into our Metaversity and get certified in Head Spa. Get certified in Malibu City Head Lab. You print out the certification and then you post that all over social media. And you say, I partnered with Dateline and I went and got my education with Malibu C. And now I am certified in Head Lab and I'm offering it in the salon. Then they will start asking questions, you guys. Start talking about the things that you're doing differently than other salons. And Malibu is that thing. Testing the water, using the scope. Those are things that other people aren't doing. You have the potential to really change the game in your area.
Absolutely. When it become for those of you who have tried to register to get into the Metaversity, we have secret passwords and ways to get in because we live a little differently to the United States. We're a little looser over here and we don't necessarily have license numbers and things like that.
Right.
We will email out to everybody how to get in. But when you go on and you fill out your details, just quickly, sorry, Missy, your license number will just be Dateline, the word Dateline.
Mm-hmm.
And where it asks for a license image, it's not your driver's license. It's just your business logo. But like I said, we'll add all of that onto the email, follow-up email that we send out to everybody. Thank you.
I'm glad you said that, because I totally forget that it is different all over the world. Yeah, we do have licenses per state, which is great in some aspects, but not in others when you travel. So yes, we want to make sure that you guys get in. Same thing for the education forum on Facebook. If you go in there, it's going to ask you questions there. And when it says, how did you hear about us? Put Dateline, and we will automatically get you into the forum. And then you can access all of the information.
Thank you.
So let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about what I feel is one of the most important tools I have ever brought into the salon, and that's the scope. You guys, this little camera enables you to see what you're seeing on the screen. You're able to really look at the scalp and see what's going on. But not only that, you're going to use this camera to show the after, so you can physically show your client that you removed everything that was on there. So when you're using this and you're looking at the camera and you're trying to figure everything out, don't stress out on feeling like you have to explain everything, because you don't. You do not have to be a trichologist to use this. You are already trained on scalp. We know what a healthy scalp looks like just at a distance. We're just really going to be able to hone in and look. So when you're looking at this before picture, you can see that there's all of this white gunk everywhere. There's pieces on the hair shaft themselves. There's a huge piece down in the lower right-hand corner. What you're going to say is there is a buildup of complex compounds, and we need to remove that. You do not have to say, this is product, this is mineral, this is medication, because again, there's no way for you to break that down. Malibu actually looked into purchasing a microscope that would do that. And you guys, that microscope was $90,000. So this little guy's not going to do that for you, but it's going to do a whole bunch of other things. So when you get this, because you need it, everybody needs it. And this is also what I use for the consultations for the extensions. It's also what I use to see if the hair is healthy enough to go forward with a corrective service. This tool can be used multiple places. My daughter is an esthetician.
Oh, sorry.
What? No,
sorry.
what was your favorite?
What blew me away, it took me a hot minute to figure it out and master it, but now I have. So don't stress if it's, you're taking a minute to get the focusing and everything. But you can literally see lifted cuticle. You can see where one hair strand has broken. You can see where one hair strand has been cut blunt. Like, it literally shows you everything.
Everything. So, and I had to learn this the hard way, you guys, make sure that your client doesn't have a weak stomach. Some people will think this is really, really gross and not want to see it. And some people will think it's the most fascinating thing possible. So I just ask if they have a weak stomach. And two, the other thing to understand when you're using the scope, every single person is going to have buildup of complex compounds. Everyone, because everyone uses water. So people will apologize to you. They will, when you're looking, they're like, oh my gosh, this is probably the worst you've ever seen. I'm so sorry. And you're going to just have to say, it's not. It's even though it might be. But you talk about that in the forum. You don't say that to the client. Because you guys know we see all kinds of stuff.
I think the number one question I get is, my God, what if I've got a little lice running around? If I've got nits somewhere, I'm like, well, it is what it is.
We'll see it. We'll see it. My poor granddaughters, I have four granddaughters. And so, of course, when one came home with lice, it just trickles down, right? So now, every time these girls have an itch, they're like, Mimi, where's the scope? Because we're looking, they just want reassurance, that's not there. So yes, you can see lice through the scope. Yes, you can see anything that's on there. And it's really interesting when you guys get this. It's just like any other tool. The more you use it, the easier it will be. So don't get discouraged when you get it and you can't focus it on the first try. Nobody could. When I say that I've scoped everything, I mean everything. So your shirt, your rug, my poor dogs have been scoped so many times, just trying to focus, because it's just like our shears, it's just like our clippers, it's just like anything else. The more you use it, the better you'll be. So don't be afraid to get in there and play with it. But here's the thing, this simple. Why do you need it? You needed to open the door for new services because we need to increase more service revenue. We need to be able to make more dollars and have less stress on our bodies. This is the tool that's going to do that for you. This is also going to increase your retail sales. When I talk about retail, and up until, to be completely honest and transparent, up until HEADLAB, I hated retail, hated it, absolutely hated it. I do not want to hard sell anybody, but I can honestly tell you that now with my clientele, I have 100% retail sales 100% of the time. And it's all in how I word it, and it's because of the scope. So it's no longer, do you need a shampoo today or are you out of conditioner? It's, we looked at your scalp, we saw what was going on, we removed all the complex compounds. Now, this is what I need you to use at home to maintain it. Change your verbiage. When they understand that, first of all, you're going to be able to tell if they're not maintaining at home with the scope. And I let my clients know that. So I'm going to send you home with this. This is how I want you to use it. And next time you come back in and we scope your scalp again, we'll be able to see how well that's worked. And at that point, it's like, well, crap, now I can't tell her I used this. And knowing that I didn't, right? Because they do that to us all the time. So this is going to help you determine exactly what they need. We're going to be able to really get down to the nitty gritty and give them solutions that are going to work and not have them saying, well, I don't know that I want to pay for that today. When you can show results, there is no question. So, all right, here we are. This is it. This is HEADLAB. Now, when you look at this, there are just 6 steps, but you'll notice that there are duplicates. And that's because they happen more than once in the service. But if you actually look at the product, you guys, it's 3 products: a shampoo, the crystal gel, and a conditioning treatment, a protein reconstructor. So this is not something that you have to buy so many different products to get it to work. It's just using the products in conjunction with each other. So the reason the scope is on here twice is because you're going to use it at the beginning of the service as well as the end of the service. So I personally work with a minimum, I work with 3 now, and I travel with 3 of these scopes. So that way I have one that's charged at all times. So if this is something that you're really going to be getting into, you're going to want more than 1 scope because the charge on these guys only lasts about 2 hours. So you want to make sure that you're not ever at a point where, you know, you have to plug in and wait for something to charge. So with the scope, there's all kinds of buttons and gadgets. And you guys, there's videos on this inside the Metaversity. First thing you want to do is take it out of the box and you want to charge it. And I know that sounds super simple, but we do have people that call all the time. They're like, I can't get it to work. I can't get it to turn on. It's like, well, did you charge it? Make sure you charge it. When you're doing this, I keep it on my station in front of my guests, because if I'm not doing something with them, or say it's a consultation that I haven't gotten to the scope yet, as soon as they see it, they ask what it is. So keeping that tool out in the forefront. And then I get the question a lot, well, are we going to use that? Are you going to use that on me? And so it really creates an open dialogue with the client. So we're going to talk about the lighting. We're going to talk about the magnification. We're going to talk about the photos. There is an option to do video, but to be honest with you, I personally don't use that just because I find it easier to use the photo. I capture the photos.
Yeah.
The cool thing, are you the same way? Like, I find like it's hard to go back in the video to try to pinpoint things. So the photos work better for me, but if you can make the video work, use it. So the cool thing about this is when you're using the scope, and it was really great to be there with Dateline in Australia to be able to show people up close and personal, you know, how you use this, how easy it is. And it can be used by your receptionist, by your assistants. It doesn't necessarily have to be you, but you need to be the one that's looking at the pictures to determine what's going on. When you do this, you're going to keep these pictures and you're going to put them in your client's file. So that way, especially for me, since I deal with a lot of clients with hair loss, I'm able to take the pictures of your scalp, say from 3 months ago, and compare them to what we have going on now. Now, that being said, If you are not dealing with clients that need to track that, then you don't have to save these photos. So if I'm doing a corrective color consultation, I don't necessarily save those because I'm not necessarily going to see that client again. So just use whatever works for you. There's no wrong way to do this. Something that's very important though, you guys, this is not a Bluetooth device. This is a Wi-Fi device. So you want to make sure that it's connected through Wi-Fi, so it will not work on your laptops or a desktop computer that you plug it in. It needs to be on your phone, on your iPad, on any kind of mobile tablet. And it does work on iPhones as well as Android. So it doesn't matter which type of phone that you have. When you get the kit, when you order it, there's going to be this QR code that's inside the box. This is how you download the app, and it'll walk you through everything. The directions are in there, and it actually really is simple. So let's talk about what we're going to do, though, how we're going to approach this. We have given you a consultation form. Now, this consultation form was developed by myself and a couple other stylists who are in the trichology world. And we really tried to boil it down for you because a scalp-centric consultation is a little bit different. When you're dealing with hair loss clients, and we've all had to, especially since COVID, we've had to deal with hair loss that we hadn't dealt with before. And we're dealing with it with clients and guests that are a lot younger than had experienced it before. So some of the questions that we ask just give you a different view into their lifestyle so we can determine what they need for their scalp, because you cannot have healthy hair if you don't have a healthy scalp. So this is going to talk about, we're going to ask different questions about, of course, medications, but we're going to ask about supplements. I'm going to ask you about your lifestyle. And I want to know really, how much are you outside? Which sounds like a really weird question for a stylist to be asking, but vitamin D production affects hair growth. So vitamin D comes from being in the sun. That's how your body works with the sun to create the vitamin D. You can't necessarily get it in food. So asking questions like, are you outside a lot? Do you play sports? That lets me know what you're subjected to. Do you swim? That's going to tell me about the chemicals that are going on your hair, because the pool's going to have high chlorine concentration. It's going to have high copper concentration. So these just help me understand what their life looks like in a snapshot. The cool thing about this, though, is you can personalize it. So if there are questions on here that you don't want to ask, that's totally fine. If there's questions that you want to add to it, that's totally fine too. We just wanted to give you a starting point of, really, where do we go and why are we asking different questions about the scalp versus the hair? Another great tool that we've given you is the head map. The reason this was created is I want you to think about it. Think about when you're scrolling, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of these different places, and you're looking at other people's work. You're looking at the before and after pictures. You can tell which is the before and which is the after. And when you're looking at the scalp, especially when it's magnified 1,000 times, you're not going to be able to tell where that picture was taken on the head. And so it's really hard to do a before and after if you don't know where you were. So we created this, and I follow this with every single client because it really is the only way to figure it out. So when we're scoping, the first place we're going to scope is 1 inch in from the front hairline. Something that's important is use the hairline they have, not where it used to be, not where it's supposed to be, where it actually is, because you need to see where the active follicles are. So zone 1, 1 inch in from the front. Zone 2 is 1 inch above the left ear or right, doesn't matter which side of the head as long as you're consistent, but it's 1 inch up. Zone 4 is on the crown. That's where you're going to see the most buildup, because think about it. When you stand in the shower, where does the water hit first? It hits here. So you're going to have the most buildup there. 5 is the occipital, and 6 is the bottom hairline. Now, when you snap these pictures, and the way that you snap the pictures is when you have the scope, the light, the power light, you can see that my light came on. There is a button right here, which is your power and your picture. So we're going to take a picture while we're scoping, and it's going to save it. When you go back, you're able to then take your before and your after and compare them for the client to be able to see. The other thing that I do with this is if you see something on the scalp, say, a mole, a lesion, a sore, anything like that, snap a picture. We are not medical professionals. We cannot diagnose at all, but send that picture to your client so they can show their doctor, because you might be the only person that sees what's on, that's on the back of their head. They might not know that they have a spot that's suspect. So use this. If you see something, say something and use it with the scope. I've had a couple clients that have had cancer spots removed from their scalp because I've been able to take a picture over months to be able to show the doctor, okay, this is how it started. And it was changing color, it was changing sizes. I mean, of course, not a doctor, but that enabled the doctor to know, how long it's been going on. So you can use
Wow.
it for that. Isn't that cool?
So good.
Okay, so here's some gross pictures, you guys. So this is if you don't have I always say if you can watch the pimple popper videos, you are totally fine looking at this. See, look, you're laughing because because it's relaxing and it relieves stress to see a result, right? So this is a great example. When you guys see this, and this is actually the same head, just different spots on the same head. So when you see the one on the left that has the yellow buildup and you can see that it's bumpy and the colors are different, this is when you're going to say there's a buildup of complex compounds. Don't feel like you have to diagnose that. On the other one, you can see that there's buildup coming up the hair shaft. What happens with the buildup of these complex compounds is it can actually smother this hair out. It can actually shut this follicle down when they wouldn't have had hair loss if their scalp would have been cleansed. So start talking about a scalp facial. When you talk about a facial, clients understand the process. They know that there's a cleansing, there's an exfoliating, there's a toning, there's moisture. This is the exact same process. We're just doing it on the scalp. So helping them understand that it's important. Now, one of the questions I always ask is how frequently do you shampoo? And most people will say, every 2 days, every 3 days. On the rare occasion, which I've had happen, they will say once a month, or they will say every 7 months. And I know I told you that story. And oh my gosh, you guys, it's shocking. So the next thing I ask is why? Why do you shampoo once every 10 days? 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be because I saw it on TikTok that that's what's better for your scalp. When you're talking about HEADLAB, I know, isn't that? I'm like, oh, so here's what I say. How frequently do you wash your face? Most people will say once a day or twice a day. It's literally the same skin, literally the same skin. So if we're cleansing this once or 2 times a day, why are we not cleansing this? Why are we surprised when there's a bunch of buildup or flakes or dry scalp when we're not properly cleansing it? Let Malibu see.
Yeah, I
See
think that
that.
I think that we forget how much product that most
Yep.
people use. So, already this morning
Mhm.
I have shampoo, I have conditioner, I have a leave-in conditioner, I have a laminate spray, I've got texture spray, and I've got
Yep.
hairspray. So I have 6 products already just today. So if I kept
Just starting.
wearing at least 2 of those for the next 3 days, like that's a lot of buildup very quickly.
It is. And you've got your natural oils, you've got your sweat, and not to mention too, I mean, I'm a toucher. I touch my hair all day long. So anything that's on my hands, coming on my hair and my scalp. So keep that in mind, you guys. It's not, so I recommend to my clients that I want you to shampoo daily. And I do know that that's not going to work for everybody. So then my recommendation is I don't want you to go longer than 2 days because I want your scalp to stay healthy. Because when they see this picture, when they see what's actually going on their scalp, that changes how they talk about it. Because before it was, well, I can't do that. I don't want to shampoo every 2 days, Missy. I don't want to dry my hair. Those very logical, especially if you've got long, thick hair. You don't want to blow it out. These are the before pictures for this client. These are the after.
Wow.
Being able, I know, right? Like you would not know that that's the same head of hair, right? Looking at that scalp, I mean, let's go back. You've got the yellow is gone. You've got the buildup on the hair strands, it's gone. You've got the redness is decreased. The white coming up the hair shaft, that's gone too. So think about that, you guys. If you sat in my chair and I said, I think we need to do this treatment, you're like, no, Missy, I don't want to do it today. My response is then, well, let's just take a look. Let's just look and see what's going on. I show you that before we do the service, and then I show you this. You are forever my client. Now that you know, I didn't just try to sell you something, I can physically show you that those things are gone. So help them understand seeing really is believing. So this is what a healthy scalp actually looks like. You can see the lines in the scalp. I call them roads just because one of my clients said that one time. She was like, it looks like a bunch of roads. So that's how I relate it to my clients. But helping them understand that when I can see the roads in your scalp, when I can see the little red lines, which you guys, that's not bad, that's blood flow. So it's not bad when you see the little red squiggly lines. When you can see more than one hair coming out of a follicle, that's good too. I also talk to them about the diameter of the hair. Now look at these hairs in the example. They're all consistent. There's none of them that are smaller at the bottom or fatter, it's very, very consistent. So talk to them about the diameter. There's no splits here. And you can see split ends. You can, as you said, you can see blisters, you can see split ends, you can see bleach blisters, you can see a lot. Here is another example. So this one happens to be an example of psoriasis. Now, in the US, we cannot diagnose or say psoriasis until if the client says it to me and I ask, have you had a formal diagnosis? And they say yes, then I can talk psoriasis all day long. Something to realize with psoriasis and eczema, though, you guys, it's autoimmune, which means that you are not going to cure it. But what you can do is manage the triggers with Malibu C. This client happens to come to me every 3 weeks because her psoriasis is so bad, it builds up in layers and we literally have to remove it. So we keep her on an every 3 week regimen with a Crystal Gel XL, and then she uses the Scalp Wellness Collection at home. And now she's using the new products that you're going to be introducing, the B5 spray and the scalp scrub. But look at her before and after. Like that was done with a vitamin C technology. That was done with vitamin C, clay,
Wow.
and zinc. And she only processes, because she comes to me every 3 weeks, she's a 10-minute process. So it's not a long process in the chair every time, but help your guests understand that if they're willing to do the maintenance at home, their processing time in the salon decreases. It's just as you said, you don't have to process for the full time because you do it frequently. So that being said, you can use the vitamin C technology as frequently as you want. You can't overuse it. It's not going to damage the hair. I recommend minimum every 4 times a year. So when the seasons change, I recommend to my clients to come in and get a full Crystal Gel or Crystal Gel XL, which is my new best friend. Is this making sense so far? Like these pictures are crazy, aren't they?
And that's, I think, I couldn't even tell you how many people I've scoped since we first got the scopes earlier in the year, but they are all varying in the amount of buildup, but every single
Mhm.
person, like you says, has buildup.
Yeah,
There's just a couple of questions on here, which Missy, if we're going to
sure.
get, that's fine. But one of them is, how do you convince a curly girl to wash their hair more frequently? They often use things like ACV rinses, etc., rather than a shampoo, which that's
Yep.
global, right? They
Yep.
follow a curly girl routine because they assume that that information is what is best for them when it's generally the opposite.
Right, correct. So yes, actually I have, because what a curly girl is going to realize is when you remove the minerals from their hair, their frizz is most times eliminated. It's controllable. So helping them understand, and again, if a client doesn't want to shampoo every day for that reason, that is okay. Just make sure that it's not like a week at a time. But yes, with the Malibu C products, we actually do have a curl wellness line that was designed for curls. And a lot of times with the mineral buildup is what's making that hair frizz. It's not that her hair is frizzy by design. It's that it's not controlled. So yes, absolutely. And in fact, grab a model that has curly hair. They would be a great before and after. The curl is going to bounce up because, you know, sometimes they're flat here, curly here, and then it looks like this on the ends. Take those minerals out and you're going to have a nice, beautiful curl pattern. So absolutely. And to be honest too, if you have clients, if you have curly girls that they don't want to give up their regimen, that's okay, as long as they're doing the detox 4 times a year, because it is about scalp health. Make sure that they understand that. That was a great question. Any others?
Yes. So when you were saying, when we were talking about washing more frequently, so if not every
Mm-hmm.
day, every other day,
Mm-hmm.
is that going to dry the client's hair out and also remove or fade color?
Great questions. So actually, it's not. So with hair fall, first of all, the more you stimulate your scalp, the better. When you are using a product that is the right product for you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with shampooing every day. If you do get dry hair or dry scalp from shampooing more frequently, that is not the right product for you. So Malibu Sea, all of them are formulated to be used daily, even Undo Goo. Actually, Undo Goo was my daily shampoo for years, and that's our clarifier. So helping people understand that it's not going to make a difference in drying out the hair, especially when you put back the conditioning agents that we use. So with the fadage of color, that's a great question. That's two-sided. So when we talk about minerals on the hair, so you've got the hair shaft here, you've got minerals built up, and then you put color on top. When you remove some of that mineral, that color didn't actually attach to the hair, it attached to the mineral. So some of that color is going to leave when you remove the mineral. When I have somebody who's coming in to get a treatment done for the very first time, I always make sure that I'm doing it right before their next color service. So that way it's a clean canvas before the color is done the next time, because there can be some fadage strictly because the color's sat on mineral. Now, after the hair's been cleansed first and had the crystal gel treatment and then the color's done, no, the vitamin C and the more shampooing daily will not fade that color, because that color is actually attached to the hair. It's not attached to the mineral. So
And
that
I
was a
can,
great question.
yeah, and I think once Malibu Sea can be very overwhelming because there's a lot of
Mhm.
different sachets, whatever. But I think once you
Yep.
sort of listen to this information a few times, it then begins to make sense. And I'll be the first person to say that when I first walked out of a Malibu Sea meeting, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 years ago, whatever it was, I'm like,
You were like,
how was that? Like, it was a lot of information. But now,
was.
if I don't I crystal gel, I bleach, I use deox to stop all of that. Then I do my toning and then I use deox again. I do not have to retone my hair in between my color services, which are
Mm.
at least 12 weeks apart. I'd like to say they're right on the dot of 12 weeks, but they sometimes push out due to time management, poor time management.
Yep.
But I will still use the Malibu Sea sachets to keep my hair fresh looking without using a toned shampoo or conditioner because
Mhm.
they don't work for me. They make my hair go green. Whereas it's just a total game changer on the way that your color holds.
Yeah, you're going to get a cleaner tone. It is going to last longer. And when you really think about it, and I know to a lot of stylists, when you hear that you need to color on prepped hair or you need to start coloring on damp hair, a lot of red flags start coming up. People freak out when they hear that. They're like, oh my gosh, it's going to take more time, I can't do that, and color works better on dry hair. That is actually absolutely false. Color works better on cleansed damp hair, because you guys, water does not dilute the color when you're putting it on. Water is an oxidizer. So all it does to color on damp hair is help you move that color better and get a better absorption than putting it on something that's dry, that has dirt on it, oils on it, product on it. I mean, the way that I introduce Undo Goo to a lot of people is, if you were going to remodel your kitchen and you were going to where the stove is and there was grease, bacon grease, whatever grease all over the wall, would you paint over that? And the answer is no, you wouldn't. but we do that on hair all the time. And then we're surprised when our color doesn't last, or especially with gray coverage. When you're not getting good gray coverage, you're looking for a solid opaque coverage and it's more translucent. That's because you painted on a dirty canvas. So the color couldn't get to the hair. It's too busy attaching to the crap that's on top. So that's why you need this. That's why you need Undo Goo. You guys, this is a clarifying shampoo. It's going to remove the surface resins without stripping the hair. You can use this daily. It's got a pH of 9 or higher. The reason why that's important is because when stylists start talking about pH, we automatically know that neutral is 7.5, right? We know that we've got to neutralize everything and normalize everything and get it to the middle. Well, when you're using the vitamin C technology, it's on the low end of the scale. Undo Goo is on the high end of the scale. So when they're used in conjunction, they meet in the middle. There's no need for a porosity equalizer or a spray normalizer because the science is already there. So when you're using Undo Goo shampoo, don't be afraid just because it says clarifier that it's going to make the hair brittle. It doesn't. You can still run your fingers through. So helping people to understand that the more product you use, like you said, you're using multiple products daily. I do too. I use Undo Goo now once a week, and I do it when I do my weekly sachet. So that has just become my regimen because if I'm putting all of that stuff on, you guys, I am a daily shampooer. So I do use product daily. I need to make sure that that's not building up. This is going to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Just quickly, one question. Is Crystal Gel the only product you would use for this, which is to remove all of the buildup, or is the hard water sachet going to work just as well? Great question.
That's a very great question. So think about it this way. Using the Crystal Gel or the Crystal Gel XL, that's like going to the dentist and getting your teeth deep cleaned. The hard water packets, the scalp, the blondes, the swimmers, those are like brushing your teeth at home. It's still important. You still need to do it, but it will never give you the results that Crystal Gel did. So in the forum, for example, if somebody says I used the blondes packet and it didn't make the hair as blonde as I wanted it to, our educators, the very first thing they're going to say to you is, did you do a Crystal Gel first? So all of the other packets, they are meant to maintain what you did with the Crystal Gel. Same vitamin C technology, but not the same strength. So always go in for the big service with Crystal Gel in salon, and then retail the hard water packets, the other packets. Those are what are recommended to use weekly. That was a great question.
And then if somebody has limited times for booking or they work solo, can the Crystal Gel treatment be done previous to the color service being done?
It sure can. So when you're using traditional Crystal Gel goes under the dryer for up to 45 minutes. HEADLAB Crystal Gel XL does not require heat, and the maximum time I've ever processed it is 20 minutes. So keep that in mind. The reason this guy works faster than the other one is because it has additional products in it, additional ingredients that help speed up drawing out the minerals. So for me personally, this is my choice because time is money. So to answer the question, yes, you can do Crystal Gel on one day and then come back and do color. Just make sure that they haven't shampooed their hair multiple times or been subjected to water multiple times in between when you removed it and when they're coming in. Make sense?
Perfect. There's just one more thing, and I'm sure you're
Sure.
going to get to this, but this is a really great question because it's something that resonated with me a while ago, and I guess I probably couldn't really explain it until I spent some time with you a few months ago, but using the color prep sachet on clients within that 24-hour time period of them coming back in. So I think you had said to me, no company in the world formulates a product that doesn't work. Like there's no color company that's going to put all of that time, money, effort, resources, whatever, into formulating a product that doesn't work. In 2024, I still can't believe, and you know, we're a multi-branded company. We have
Right.
different keratin treatments, smoothing treatments, straightening treatments, and color brands. So my job is to be able to train on those. I still can't believe the amount of clients that come to a salon and proudly announce that they didn't wash their hair, after they, before they came to their appointment because we thought that it was the right thing to do. I'm
Right.
like, okay, so you want me to touch your hair that's just been to the gym and Lord knows when it was washed or whatever. So Color
Yes.
Prepare is absolutely one of my favorite products for that reason. So clients will prep their hair before they come in, right?
Yeah, that was my number one retail for a long time because of that. So I would let people know, you came to me, you got the crystal gel treatment. We're going to do that 4 times a year. When I'm doing your color, I need you to prep with the Color Prepare first, and you can either do that at home and the packet is whatever cost you're going to sell it at, or I can do it for you in the salon and it's going to cost this much. But either way, I'm not touching your hair until that happens, because you guys, all of the things that go wrong when we use oxidative chemicals, your foils getting hot, your foils swelling, smoke coming off the hair melting, all of those things happen because of a chemical reaction with our oxidizer and the minerals that are still in the hair. If you take those minerals out, you alleviate all of those things. So you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, have they been processing too long? Is the foil hot? It was starting to get warm. Those things shouldn't happen, but they happen because you're coloring on top of minerals, medication, styling products. So yeah, Color Prepare was a big one for me. Shifting to the hair loss and scalp world, scalp therapy is the one that's my go-to for everybody, and because I need to make sure your scalp is in good condition before we do anything else. So something that Malibu C has always said is the power is in the packet. Now here's the thing. If you have a guest that you're doing color on, but you do not have any Color Prepare packets, you only have blondes or hard water, that is okay. Have them use it anyway. Using some vitamin C is better than using no vitamin C. So don't ever think, oh my gosh, I don't have the right packet, so I can't use it. Use what you have and then get them the right one the next time. There's no wrong way to use that.
Amazing.
Okay, let's talk about this guy. This guy is now my favorite because he processes in less time, and here's why. So we're still using the same vitamin C technology, and the packet's white, so you know it's in salon professional only. But this guy has zinc, which is conditioning for the scalp, and it also has bentonite clay. Bentonite clay is what draws that mineral up quicker than the traditional crystal gel. So this was created specifically for the scalp, but that being said, it can go root to end. So don't feel like you have to use traditional crystal gel on or HEADLAB crystal gel on the scalp and then regular crystal gel on the end. Pull this all the way through. You're still getting the full mineral removal. You're just getting it with added ingredients and in less time. So like I said, zinc is a conditioning agent, but it also regulates oil. So for your clients who have crazy oily scalp that they cannot get under control, this is the solution for them. Coming in and having this treatment done. Dry shampoo, and I know you heard me say this a couple times. Dry shampoo is a cuss word to me, and not because it's bad, you guys. It's not. It's a cuss word to me because it works. The whole point is to draw the oil, right? The problem with that, though, if you're using a product that is constantly drawing the oil but not cleansing the scalp, you are actually triggering more oil production. So that dry shampoo is actually making their situation worse, or making them deal with it in a longer period of time. Once you regulate the oil with Crystal Gel XL on a regular basis, then they're not going to have to use all of these other things. Their styles are going to be better. Their hair's not going to feel so gross. And their color too. You're going to see a huge shift in the color just because there's not so much buildup of that dry shampoo. So with that too, a lot of people they will have flake coming from the dry shampoo and they think that it's dandruff, which causes a problem because then you're treating for something that's not even there. So detox everything. Go in with the Crystal Gel XL and just know that zinc is an important ingredient in that for the scalp. Bentonite clay, that's the same clay that is in the CPR and DDL. So bentonite clay's job is to draw things up. So when we're talking about the scalp, it's drawing up the complex compounds. When we're talking about color, it's drawing up the artificial pigment and helping draw the natural pigment. So with that in mind, just understand that it's the same technology in all three of those things. So you already know about this. We're going to skip through these because of time, and they're all on the forum and also in the Metaversity, and you guys can read. So you don't have to have me tell you how to actually do this. That's funny though. Actually, you know as well as I do, stylists, we don't necessarily read directions. We
Never,
no,
never.
we take them as suggestions. So it's a maybe. So here's a cheat sheet for you. Here's how to know how long to process Crystal Gel XL. When you use the scope, if they have just a little bit of buildup, you process 5 minutes. Heat's not even necessary. Just a massage will actually get things going. If they have moderate buildup, then you're going to process for 5 to 10 minutes and use a heat source. And it doesn't matter which heat source, just as long as it's constant and consistent. So it truly does not matter, just as long as it's constant. If they have the severe buildup, or for me, if the first time that I'm using it on them, I do process for the 20 minutes just because it's the first time. And I want to make sure I get everything off. And the heat source too is dependent on what you have available. So it doesn't matter if it's a heat cap, hooded dryer, heat ring. I personally use the spa mist too, but one is not necessarily better than the other. So let's talk about this though. You need to use the undo goo to take off the surface junk. So the Crystal Gel XL or the Crystal Gel or the CPR can go in and do its job by removing the internal junk. But once you do that, we need to finish it. So if any of you have used the Crystal Gel and you didn't love how the hair felt afterwards, it's probably because you didn't finish with the Miracle Repair. We took all of those minerals out of the way, and if we didn't put something back, you literally left the hair with potholes, which can make it feel dry. So make sure that you're ending with Miracle Repair. This guy has cooling menthol in it, so it's phenomenal on the scalp and your hands as well. But it's got other ingredients too. So the proteins that we use, different sizes, cannot build up on the hair. The other question we get about our proteins is it going to affect your keratin treatments? And the answer is no, because it's a different type of protein. These are hydrolyzed proteins. So when we're looking at the menthol, this does have menthol, spearmint, and peppermint, but it does not have a medicinal smell. Most of the time people will ask, does it smell like tea gel, or does it smell like Paul Mitchell? It doesn't. It's a very soft mint smell. So if you have somebody who smells sensitive, this is actually a good one to use because it's not as strong as the other mentholated products.
It's really
This
nice.
guy, it's got a nice slip. And
Yeah.
this is one of the reasons I love it, especially for your blondes. This is going to brighten. It's going to moisturize and hydrates, but this is a heat protectant up to 399 degrees. And the cool thing is that heat protectant benefit is active it stays in the hair for 7 to 10 shampoos. So say that you are not a frequent shampooer, you're still going to have heat protectant using that heat styling tool in between. Or if you are a frequent shampooer, this is not going to build up or rinse off either. It's a really smart ingredient. So I absolutely love it.
I
Shea
just
butter,
had somebody,
go
sorry,
ahead.
I just had somebody asked if you use the heat source with any of the Malibu sachets for longer,
Mhm.
so even if you process for at least 40 to 45 minutes, do they create or can they cause damage?
No, they actually can't. So with the only ones that go under heat are Crystal Gel XL, or CPR. None of the others go under heat. It's not necessary. So processing to the full amount, the 45 minutes or the 20 minutes, that's going to give you maximum removal. But since it's vitamin C, it can't damage the hair. So it can't pull anything else out. The vitamin C technology cannot touch natural pigment either. So you don't have to worry about it shifting somebody's natural hair color. It's just going to remove the minerals and medication. My personal experience though, once you have processed for the first time, do it for the full amount the first time, and then after that, don't think about those timings again. A lot of people get confused with Crystal Gel and they think I have to do 45 minutes every single time. They don't. If for me, it's only that first time, and then after that, if they're using the weekly sachets, it could be 15 minutes. It could be 20 minutes. It could be 10. And with the HEADLAB XL, the Crystal Gel XL, then you're talking 5 or 10 minutes. So use those in conjunction with each other. That's how you cut down that processing time. That was a great question. Trying to think if there's anything else that I've questions that I've heard regarding that. So it's not going to cause damage to be on there longer, but you do want to make sure if you have to process longer than the 45 minutes, don't take them out from the heat. Because when you had them under the heat, everything was opened up, the minerals were brought to the surface so we can shampoo them out. If you take them away from the heat and let it cool down, everything's going to settle back down into the hair. So if they have to be there a little bit longer, turn down the heat and just let it sit. But know that the vitamin C itself is not going to cause damage.
We had a situation, well, it wasn't a situation, that was the wrong word. We had a scenario here last week, and it was actually up in far north Queensland where a client had a lot of buildup and she literally needed a double dose of crystal gel. So for 45 minutes the first time, and then I think another half an hour for the second time. And it literally needed that amount of time to pull all of that buildup and mineral deposit from her hair. Like, it was extreme. So now that's done. Next time that the client has it done will probably just be a 15-20 minute, because we know that there's a lot of mineral buildup in that area.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's a great tip for that too. So when you're using the crystal gel and you're rinsing it out and then you're shampooing the hair with undo goo, if you can't run your fingers through the hair wet, get it all the way through, if it's tangled at the end, that's when they need another treatment. Because if you think about it, you guys, if they've never had this treatment done before, every time water touches their hair, mineral builds up. So they've got years of buildup that you have to get through. So doing 2 processes back to back, that is not a problem. I've personally done 5 CPRs back to back without causing any damage. So just know that it doesn't mean that the hair is going to be damaged or dry or brittle. You just needed extra to get that out. Vitamin C is not an oxidative ingredient. So there's no developer that's causing the chemical reaction. So time and heat are really what you need to be able to get all of that mineral out. So yeah, that's tough when that happens, especially if you hadn't planned for that time. But but
But it
she
was
had a
worth
different,
it. It was worth it
yeah,
in the
yeah,
end.
she had a different head of hair after that, So it really can too be used on any type of hair. So that's another question that we get. Is there any type that you wouldn't recommend it for? And the answer is absolutely not. It's made for any type of hair because I mean, everybody uses water, everybody has a scalp, and everything that Malibu Sea does. Again, we're a wellness company, so it's done on the wellness side. So there's never going to be anything that's harsh and crazy. Now, that being said, the only product that you can potentially cause damage with is DDL-XL, and that's because it is a lightener, you guys. So just understand, as long as you're prepping the hair first and you're respecting the hair as you would with any other oxidative lightening product, you will be totally fine. But it is one that you do have to treat with a little bit, come at it from a different perspective. Those are great questions. Any others that have come through?
Just one more on here. Can Malibu Crystal Gel XL be used to remove adhesive buildup from hair pieces on the scalp?
Ooh, that's a great question. The product you want to remove the adhesive is actually undo goo, not the crystal gel. So here's a tip. When you have somebody come in, and this works for tape-in extensions, this works for the hair pieces that are glued down too, put the undo goo on the area with the adhesive dry. Put it right on and pop them under the dryer for 5 to 10 minutes. So that way you're getting everything worked in. And the reason I say to do it dry is because when you add water to the scenario, you're changing the pH of the product. So we need to really just get the resin off. So put the undo goo on there, pop them under the dryer, and then take them to the shampoo bowl and shampoo it out. And that adhesive is going to come right off. And then of course you're going to follow with the crystal gel to get the minerals and medication off the scalp and the hair itself. But the undo goo is the product that addresses the adhesive. That's a great question. It also works on tree sap, bubblegum, and slime. That happened at my house all in one day. So
that sounds like a fun day.
It was a great day. It was a great day. So I mean, and obviously those things happened on children. So these products can be used on anybody at any age, from 0 to 100. So no worries there at all. That was a really good question too, especially with people getting more into the extensions and the hair pieces. There's a lot of companies getting in with those. And two, you guys, if you're doing hair pieces and you are doing the adhesive kind, keep in mind that you need to prep that scalp because the minerals from the water can also react with the adhesive, not just with colors. So prep the scalp, prep it as well. Think of it as a whole nother chemical process, and that we need to have a clean canvas. That way you risk minimal reaction with the adhesive, because some people do react to the adhesive. So you want to make sure you've covered your bases.
Undo Goo is also really great at hairspray buildup,
Yes.
serum buildup, and exactly the same way that you said, on dry, under heat, and it will just
Yep.
literally pull it off. It's amazing.
Yeah. And two, if you've done a service on and you've got the little white beads that are on the hair that actually look like paint that just haven't come off, Undo Goo's the answer for that too. And some people will grab another crystal gel, which is great for the hair itself. But as far as the product buildup, that product buildup needs the Undo Goo to be removed. So just shampoo again with Undo Goo or pop it under the dryer and you'll be good to go. It's also important to note too that it does say on the back of the packets that crystal gel is not recommended for use on white or non-pigmented hair. The only reason is because if it's not shampooed out fully and neutralized, it can turn pink. I can tell you in all the years that I've used it and on a lot of white and platinum clients, I've never turned anyone's hair pink because I use Undo Goo every time. So yes, it can be done on white hair. It can be done on gray hair. You just need to make sure that you're using Undo Goo with it.
So it happened to me, and it wasn't long after we'd actually had Malibu Sea in Australia, and I nearly died because I didn't know it was a thing. And as you said,
Yep,
hairdressers don't read instructions. I probably should have taken a little bit more notice, but I didn't. We weren't actually using Undo Goo, and it was
yep,
because the salon that we were doing this in didn't want to have to bring in another shampoo. So I learned
yep.
it the hard way. However, I did find out very quickly from Malibu Sea how to fix it, and it was literally just to raise the pH again. So Undo Goo is
Yep.
very important to stop it from happening.
It is so important. You guys, when you're looking at the cost of your back bar, the only shampoo I have on my back bar in both salons that I work out of is Undo Goo. I retail everything else. But as far as a workhorse for me behind the bowl, Undo Goo is what I need. So it's not only a great product just to have in a salon, but retail Undo Goo because people use product. They need that with their weekly shampoo to get all of that off, like you said. So yeah, that guy's really, really important. And everything Malibu does is cost effective. So it's never going to be and we're very conscious about that to make sure that we're not making a product that people can't afford to use because that's a problem in the industry right now. There's a lot of great things out there, but if we can't afford to use it, it doesn't do us any good. So we really try to make sure that we're staying reasonable for everybody because everybody needs us.
Exactly.
Okay, so to sum all up, healthy hair starts with a healthy scalp. So when you're starting with Malibu Sea, Crystal Gel or Crystal Gel XL is where you want to start. We're going to cleanse the hair. We're going to chelate the canvas and we're going to make their hair as healthy as possible. So your colors are better, your cuts are better, your keratins are better. Every service that you've got going on is going to be enhanced strictly because you removed the obstacles that happen because of the water. So use Malibu as a tool. Use it as it's not an add-on service, it's an essential service because again, everybody uses water. So start working with your clients. Find your clients that you do struggle with their gray coverage. Find the ones that you can't get the tone absolutely the way that you love it, but you know the formula is right. Prep their hair first. Do the before and after. Show that on all your social media. And of course, make sure you're tagging Malibu Sea and Dateline so we can share that everywhere. And this is going to make a big difference. I think the most important thing for me was to use it on myself, to actually really be able to see it and feel it and be like, okay, and me being me. The way I got addicted to Malibu Sea is, you guys, I took a class. It was the very first time I took a class, and I was using a different product that said it removed minerals and medication, chelated and clarified at the same time. The instructor of the class said, I challenge all of you guys who are using a product that says that it does this, go home and clean your shower. If it takes it off your shower door, you know you're taking it off your client's scalp. So I go home, I use all these products, and I'm mad because it didn't take the stuff off, right? So now I feel like I've lied to my clients. I test the leave-in sprays. I test other products that say that it doesn't. It didn't take the mineral off. I used crystal gel and it took it off, and we can literally eat it. The vitamin C technology that we use, it's food grade, it's pharmaceutical grade. So when people ask, can it damage? It absolutely cannot. And I swear that's how I stay healthy when I travel so much, because we eat this stuff. Don't go eating it. We actually have a different product for that. But it really is that important. Vitamin C is important inside and out for everything that we do.
Yeah, I agree. I clean my shower with crystal gel, and it takes the calcium buildup that I have off my shower screen for weeks at a time.
Yep.
It's and I don't have to wear a gas mask with, it doesn't kill me to
Yes.
clean the shower, right? Um, just one question here.
Sure.
The extensions sachet. So I guess to make it easier for people to understand, crystal gel is where you start, like you said, in the salon. That's the one that you do 3 or 4 times a year. Um,
Yep.
Western extensions, scalp therapy, blondes, swimmers, hard water, the take-home sachets is what your clients purchase
Mm-hmm.
to use at home as often as we would recommend for them to use them. But I guess with the extensions sachet and the curl partner sachet, as you talked about before, they probably sit a little differently, if I'm not wrong, to the others with the amount of hydration or moisturizing agents that are in them.
Yes. So still the same vitamin C that's going to remove the minerals, but added ingredients to maintain moisture. The girls in the salon, so sometimes they will do a crystal gel on extensions before they color, but most times they're just doing the extension packet before they go and tone. And then they're recommending that their clients use it once, because you're not shampooing your extensions as frequently as you would if you didn't have them. So just know that if that packet was used first, if you prep the extensions first, then colored them, having them use that product at home is going to keep their extensions looking new so much longer. And curls too, curls are going to bounce up, but yeah, there's extra hydration in that. And then we also recommend using the leave-in conditioner spray for the added moisture there too, and the slip, as well as heat protection, because that heat protection is important on the extensions as well as natural hair. So yeah, that was a great thing to point out too.
Thanks, Marianne.
Cool.
Marianne has a salon in Sydney, and she's been an avid Malibu C user for a really long time now. And, she's a bit like myself, and the team that I work with, we're completely addicted, and we learn new things every single time we spend time with you.
Well, thank you. I love being with you. And it just made sense to me as a stylist. Like, this is an easy brand to introduce. It's an easy brand to, get them to use, and it's just common sense. So, and I am a straight shooter when it comes to my clients, sometimes too much. So, but they all know, like, if they come back into me and they're like, Missy, my hair is doing this, I'm always going to say, well, are you using the vitamin C at home? And if the answer is no, my response is usually, I gave you the solution. Like, you guys, it really is that simple. So, and again, it's used with all products. We play nice with everybody. So just know that we're the foundation to build your beautiful colors and get your gorgeous curls and keep your extensions looking nice and healthy. Also, too, using the different treatments on hair pieces that are being glued on. That is a huge industry right now. People are really getting into that. So scalp wellness and undo goo, retail that to those clients. I know that two of the extensionists that I work with, they include the entire collection, the Wefson extension collection, in the cost of their first install. So that way they know that they've at least given the client the products that they need.
So would they also include like an undo goo shampoo, the Western extensions packets, and what about a conditioner? Is there anything in particular that they would recommend?
Usually rehydrate is a good one, or the replenish. Replenish is a great. That's my favorite, hands down, favorite conditioner. So that one. But if you're looking at the different collections that we have, so when I say collection, I mean that there's a shampoo, a conditioner, and packets all in the same box. In fact,
Okay,
I think it's the here's the collections.
there we go.
Um, yeah, so there is one for extension. So they're including that as well. And this is an easy way to retail it because this is your monthly regimen. There's 4 packets, 4 sachets inside these kits. So it literally is, you're using your shampoo and conditioner, however often you shampoo and condition, but you're using a packet each week. And that's what I recommend to all my clients. I want you with 1 packet a week, and then you're going to come see me 4 times a year to get the full treatment done, unless we're doing more than that. It's never less than that, but we can always do more than that. So that okay. So
Amazing.
did you learn something else this time?
Of course, I learn something new every single time. But I guess also too, what's really important to remember with Malibu C is not to be scared, because
Right.
I used to be. In the very, very beginning, I was a little bit nervous about which one, but you can't really make the wrong decision. The only one that
No.
I would keep to the left and everything, keep that to the block, everything you own in a box to the left, that's where DDL goes. That only comes out on special occasions. Everything else you
Yep.
really can't, do the wrong thing with. You might not get the result that you wanted if you don't use the correct sachet, but there's nothing bad that can happen, which is what I love about it.
Yeah, if you guys look when you're ordering too, there are 2 kits that I recommend everybody get. One is the corrective color toolbox, which is all the corrective color tools. And when you're dealing with corrective color in Malibu C, there is not a single type of color that we don't address. All of those products will work on removing any type of artificial color. So that's a great one to have because it gives you all the tools that you need. The other one is the HEADLAB kit because that also gives you everything that you need for the scalp. And so with those 2 things together, you have everything in the pro line. So I would say first and foremost, Undo Goo. Crystal gel is a must have, or XL, whichever one you want to use. Deox is a product that every stylist that uses color or developer should have. And you guys, Deox is a product that it only stops oxidation. So it shuts down those chemicals that we were using. So that guy's important. And then, of course, the conditioning agents. But all of these together, with those 2 kits, you literally have a tool for everything you're going to do in the salon. And it's and like you said, you can't go wrong. And if you do have a question or it wasn't a result that you were hoping for, get on our forum, get on Facebook, get on the Malibu C Education Forum, and type it in there. We always want to hear when people have success with the products, but the most important thing to the education team and to the chemists is if it didn't work, we need to know why so we can help you, because there's going to be a solution. We just have to figure out what it is. So again, don't be afraid to use it. Don't be afraid to pick up the scope. You want to play with that, and you really are going to have tools at your disposal that's just going to elevate you as a professional, as a beauty professional.
I think you touched on it earlier and just before. I know that you finish up. There is some amazing, one particular amazing new product for those of you who are on the Malibu Sea social media, you'll know that there is a scalp scrub that's coming that is on its way to us. Also, very exciting. Color Disruptor is going to be available in a bigger size. So that's also on its way, along with a couple of other bigger sizes in some other products as well, which we're so excited about. So that the scalp scrub looks fabulous. I can't wait to get my hands on that. And the B5 spray is also coming as well. Which, to be fair, I did steal the one from you from Hair Festival and I won't give it back. So
You guys, when you guys get these products, I mean, I'm glad that you stole it. I wish we would have had more to give to you. When you guys get this, so the B5 spray, it is great hair, skin, and scalp. Literally spray that everywhere. You have benefits on all of the places. With the scalp scrub though, that one is unbelievable. We've got activated charcoal in it. We've got jojoba esters for moisture. It's got so many great benefits to it. It's got the menthol in it, the different mints. So you're getting the exfoliation, you're getting moisture put back. It does not have the vitamin C technology. So please don't replace the Crystal Gel or Crystal Gel XL with this. Use it in conjunction with it. The other cool thing that it has is it actually has a silicone scrubber on the end of the bottle. So you literally, it's a tube. You literally squirt it, massage, and it's, oh my gosh, super easy to retail too. So what I tell my clients when I'm using it, I let them know this is a new technology. We're going to exfoliate without stripping, and make sure you're saying that so they understand we're not taking the good stuff off. But the cool thing is that your scalp scrubber is attached. And so after we do this treatment, you can just buy this from me. And they do.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's just super simple. Yeah, you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. I'm excited for you to get it. So, okay. I think we nailed all the things. Let me make sure. Here's what it looks like to go into the Metaversity. So make sure that you guys get that. We talked about putting Dateline in when it asks for your license number. Get all the certifications. They're all free on here. So once you get them, post them, talk about them. But if you can see, here's what it looks like when you go on the Metaversity. Each tab is a collection that we have. So if you have a question about hard water specifically, go to the hard water classroom. All of the information is in there. Same for all of the other ones. We have videos, we have printables, we have frequently asked questions. You're going to get sick of seeing me because I'm in a lot of the videos, but we're answering, stylist to stylist. So it's really real world stuff that happens in the salon that we're answering for you, because we want to make sure that you're happy and it works and you're getting great results every single
And
time.
I think the good thing is that clients can also go on here, so they can just go into
Yes.
the retail side of things, and then once you register a pro, it gets down to the nitty-gritty, but at least getting them on there as well, so they can have the information that's relevant to them, which then
Yes.
transfers over to the professional page where drills down that little bit deeper. It's fantastic.
So make sure, if you're not sure, so the both sides of the Metaversity as well as the website, they look identical. If you're not sure, if you're looking at the pro side versus the consumer side, search for Crystal Gel. If you can't find Crystal Gel, you're on the consumer side. They cannot see information on Crystal Gel XL, or the CPR, DDL. I mean, we keep professional, and consumer. So just know that if you're, because I've had that happen where I'm like, I can't order Crystal Gel, or I can't find the information. It's because I wasn't logged in as a pro. So, and me of all people. I shouldn't say that. But a lot of resources. You can't do it wrong, you guys. You just have to get it and use it. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. And I think that sums up what I've got. Making
Well,
sure that I didn't leave
I
anything
have
out.
my
Yeah.
certification. I've done it. I've had it emailed to me, and I very proudly printed it and laminated it, and it goes with me. And it's nice. It's not super difficult to do. It's just, all of the certification is just understanding it and answering a multiple question, sort of
Yeah.
a questionnaire, I guess. And then if you don't have to be scared of it, it's not like you need to go to university again for 12 months to understand it. It literally can get done in 20 minutes, but it's really great. It keeps it nice and simple information for you to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, make sure you're posting it, because the more you talk about your education, the easier it is to raise your prices. So education equals money, and our time is money. So making sure that they know. I mean, even after this seminar, go back and talk about it. I sat in this seminar and I learned this, and now I'm offering this. That way, your guest feels more comfortable in your chair, that you are constantly growing. Because in our industry, that's so important. Things change so fast that you have to stay on top of it. So let Malibu C be that tool for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Missy.
My pleasure. My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
It's always good to be with you.
Oh, we love it as well. We take full advantage of our relationship with Malibu Sea, and you personally, I know that. But I could, as I said to you before we started, I could do this every day and still learn something new. But thank you for giving up your Sunday afternoon. Just know that Monday morning's quite good, so you'll enjoy it once you get there.
Yeah, perfect. That'll work. I'll be on a flight tomorrow morning, so it'll be
Oh,
good. It'll be good.
fantastic. Fantastic.
Yes.
Where you hopefully you're going somewhere fun.
I actually am. We are teaching at a wellness retreat, and our chemist is going with me, and she's a yoga instructor. So I'm super excited to nerd out and talk all Malibu Sea and wellness. So it'll be a great trip, a good break.
Well, it sounds like a fabulous start to the week. Thank you for everybody that joined
Thank you.
live and to everybody that is going to be watching the recording. Like I said, if there are any questions that pop up or if anybody
Mhm.
needs any follow-up education, please feel free to reach out directly to Dateline, either your rep or your distributor, and we'll make sure that we take care of that. But Missy, thank you once again. We made it through
Thank you.
unscathed with our technology abilities between the two of us. We figured it out.
We did it. We did it. It was good. It was good.
But thank you so much
Okay.
once again. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you. Thank you
Talk
guys.
soon.
Be
Thank
be
you.
well.
Bye.